What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Aaron Nix from the Wrestle Plug once again, and I am back to discuss WWE Smackdown from tonight. Mwah! Feels good to get back on track when you've had some bad wrestling or a tough wrestling week. Just before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget our year-end awards for 2020 is available to watch now. You can also listen to it in audio format, so if you think, I don't want to stare at your fat, ugly Arab face for the next 2 hours, that's fine. You can also listen to it with your headphones on. Head over to your podcasting provider, whoever that may be, that's Spotify, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, search for Wrestle Plug. Make sure you subscribe and ultimately check out our latest podcast, which of course is our 2020 year-end awards. There's some obvious ones there. There's also some highly controversial picks, and we also cover all of your picks. So if you send your picks in, they'll be available on that podcast, and we are very grateful to you for sending in your picks. Smackdown. I want to tell you why I love Smackdown so much. So a lot of times, particularly in WWE, when you've got so many hours of programming and such a bloated roster, sometimes you can overcomplicate things, especially when you've got a 3-hour Raw. Raw has been really bad for a while now, especially the last couple of weeks. Now, SmackDown, on the other hand, less is more. You would be forgiven for thinking, oh, it's only 2 hours. They're going to cram in as much content as possible. No. Actually, this SmackDown really showed me the way forward of how I want to see wrestling for the foreseeable future. And that is, use the people who deserve to be on your show. Don't cram everybody in. We didn't need to have Sasha Banks out there for 10 minutes. We didn't need to have Roman Reigns out there for 20, 25 minutes, as great as he is in this current role. Everyone was used sparingly, and then they gave us a really heavy, good mix of wrestling at the end. And this was genuinely one of the better matches I've seen in a long time on weekly TV. Now, the highlight of the show is obviously, for me, being that he is my underrated wrestler of the year, spoiler alert, Kevin Owens, and his incredible sit-down promo with Roman Reigns. And obviously they weren't in the same room because, you know, combustuous elements. I don't even know if that's a word, if I'm being honest. Is combustuous a word? No idea. I'm sure some nerd with a dictionary will let me know. Either way, they had a sit-down, and the promo was just fire. It felt real. I love Roman Reigns and his cadence. He sits there, he's like, whatever, you know. I'm just relaxed. I'm cool. I'm in my chair. Paul's behind me. You can see his hands. Nobody cares about him. Everybody look at me. Kevin Owens, a lot more relatable. He sat there. You know, he's focused. He's zoned in on what he's talking about. He's zoned in on his opponent. He wants to make an example of Roman Reigns. This is last man standing. Not only do they get over the stipulation in the match so beautifully, but the fire, the passion, the energy. Take note. This is how the best promos in the world are cut. And I'm tired of hiding from this opinion. Kevin Owens is one of the greatest wrestlers, especially of the modern age, we have ever seen. And I feel like we're not going to realise that until he's gone. And that's a shame, but ultimately, it is the way it is, especially in such a we want it all now kind of culture that we live in, particularly with wrestling fans. We're so ungrateful. We all are. We're all guilty of it. Kevin Owens was masterful. You know, the way he just, the fire, the anger. How dare you insult me? Don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult my family. Don't think that you are better than me. Because we've all been in Kevin Owens' shoes. We've all been that guy who sat there and thought, fuck you. You aren't better than me. You aren't superior to me because you get paid more. You aren't superior to me because you're better looking and you're shinier. We all have gone through that. For the majority of us, at least. We've all been at our jobs and felt like we deserve and can offer more to a team, to a unit, to our own position. Kevin Owens relayed that so beautifully and with so much fire. And how can you not root for him this Sunday at the Royal Rumble? It's going to be stunning. I genuinely believe it'll be up there as one of the best matches you'll see in recent memory, and particularly of this year. Looking forward in a year's time to talking about the 2021 year-end awards and banging on about how incredible Kevin Owens is still. And I will do until the day I die. That guy is magic. By the way, Roman Reigns, utterly incredible as a heel. Loving everything Roman Reigns is doing right now. This really is a clash between two of the very best in the world right now. Bianca Belair picked up a very effective, very strong win. They really sold this on commentary. And to be fair, although I didn't necessarily agree that it was the biggest match of her career, you know, especially for a woman who's been in a Royal Rumble already, you can't tell me that a throwaway match on SmackDown against Bayley, admittedly a high-end opponent, is more important than going 30 minutes in last year's Royal Rumble and potentially having the opportunity to win, not to mention the Survivor Series matches. Whatever. Short memories, that's kind of WWE's thing. They're always going to insult us even when they're doing a great job. But it was a good match. And I'll tell you what I loved about this match. I love women's wrestling, but a lot of women, particularly older sort of diva era, not so much today, but there are still cases of it. Even when it's a good match, it feels a little choreographed. And it's not just women, men do it as well. This match felt like a genuine physical fight between two people who didn't like each other. I love that. I absolutely love that. I watched Dynamite this week, which I actually thought was okay, a lot better in my opinion than the week before. And for me, the highlight obviously was Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. And although this wasn't the same in terms of physicality, it had the same kind of mentality and psychology in that these were two people who thought, right, we're not going to come out and just take the piss and be ridiculous and do flips and everything like that. You didn't get a ridiculous showcase of Bianca Belair's athleticism. You saw a woman who was grinding away to beat her opponent. I thought this match with Bayley was fantastic. It felt professional. It felt real. Lovely. That's what I mean by logic and continuity. Logic within the WWE universe, not in the general world. Obviously, nothing makes sense, from this broadcast in the real world. But in the WWE world, I like this. Simplistic, effective. You are not going to step on me. You are not going to make a name at my expense. And on the flip side of things with the face, you are not going to, ultimately push me back down. You are not going to think that you are above me at any point. I shall stand out in my own light and make my own representation. And Bianca Belair does that brilliantly. They are right, though. It has been a fantastic week for her, Big win here. She's going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. She's obviously being hyped up quite a bit. There have been obviously a lot of predictions. I've seen a lot of people saying they expect Bianca Belair to win. By the way, if you're watching this, it will be available soon, if not already. Check out our Royal Rumble predictions, myself and Jeremy Miller. Nice quick fire podcast to get you ready for the Royal Rumble. But nonetheless, great match. Loved it. This is how you book women's wrestling. Sasha Banks is backstage with Reginald the Sommelier. She flirts with him a little bit. By the way, my lord, that woman could stop any man's heart in an instant, especially wearing that getup. She is scintillating. Absolutely scintillating and worth every single penny, every single plaudit as the lead woman in this company, I would argue, at this point. She is masterful at what she does. Very excited to see what she's going to be doing going forward, and I expect her to have a massive contribution at WrestleMania. The nonsense backstage actually worked really well. Can I just say how much I enjoy Big E? He's backstage with Sonya Deville. He gets interrupted by Miz and Morrison. I love his energy. I love the way he's just like, you two has-beens. He's like screaming at them. Brawl interrupts. It's going to get naughty later. Ultimately, this whole show actually kind of felt like Raw versus SmackDown. It almost felt a little bit like the build to the Survivor Series brand wars that they normally have. AJ Styles interrupts Daniel Bryan earlier on in the show, gets into the mix a little bit. Daniel Bryan, by the way, cutting a wonderful promo at the start of the show. When pay-per-views roll around, especially major ones, and especially one that's heavy in stipulations like the Royal Rumble, I do feel like WWE insults my intelligence a lot. Oh, well, it's every man for himself. We fucking know. We've all been watching years. Now, I understand there is going to be a small pickup of maybe casual fans or youngsters who may be watching for the first time, and I appreciate they might need to see the rules, but don't drench your whole product in it, and that's unfortunately where Michael Cole comes into play. Even when he has a good night, like he did tonight, he still finds a way to irk me. I was thinking, shut up, Michael Cole. He does a good job. I wish Jerry Lawler was just sat there just to tell him to shut up. Not a huge fan of Jerry Lawler, but he does tell Michael Cole to shut up well, and I quite like how Graves is continuously bombarding him with, heel nonsense and just defending people that don't need defending. He works very well, and I actually really like two-man booths. Two-man commentary teams are what you should have on every show as far as I'm concerned, except for NXT, who do it really well with a three-man/woman booth. So got to give them credit where it's due there. So, but I really, really love this. Daniel Bryan's promo was honest. It was pure. It was very much Daniel Bryan. And what I really loved about it is the fact that he showed the kind of fire, the kind of passion. This is what I want to see. So I'm a neutral. I'm a casual fan. I'm a wrestling mark. I'm a smart, whatever you want to call me. Irregardless of who you are and how you identify as a wrestling fan, you watch this promo and you think, yeah, I get it. I now understand what the Royal Rumble means, not only to a wrestler, but to you specifically as a face. AJ Styles comes down. He's a little bit more, cocky, arrogant, a little bit more dismissive of what the Rumble means, because ultimately he thinks he's above that. He's got Omos with him as well, which makes him feel big and tall. By the way, I get it. Omos is really big. We can all see that. You don't need to keep doing the little man, big man shot every week. I swear to God, they're finding the most ridiculous ways to get into it. And Daniel Bryan is amazing, but he spent way too long on one knee going, huh. And it's almost like you could hear someone directing and going, yeah, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Okay, perfect shot. Nice one, Kevin Dunn. Get the fuck out. Don't need to see it. And if you're going to do it quickly. It doesn't need to take 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, we can all see how massive he is. It's very simple. But I like this, and obviously, I thought I was just going to get AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. That's enough for me as a wrestling fan. It was fantastic, by the way. Then interferences start. All of a sudden, it goes from being just Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. All of a sudden, Sami Zayn's at ringside. Cesaro's on commentary. Nakamura gets involved. Otis gets involved. You know, Miz and Morrison are out there. And before you know it, it's gone from 1-on-1 to 5-on-5 as the final edition is, of course, Raw's Sheamus. Love this. Lots of brand splits, but also good loyalty to the face versus heel dynamic. Sheamus, once again, massively underappreciated. You know, Sheamus picks up the win, which is fantastic. All hell breaks loose. And then we get another return, Braun Strowman. Had genuinely forgotten about Braun Strowman for quite a while. And I know Kyle will watch this and be like, because he hates Braun Strowman, as he made very clear in the 2020 year-end awards. Did I mention that we have an awards podcast now? You definitely should check that out. Do it. Just do it. You know it makes sense. Braun Strowman comes back, looking shredded. What a tank. I don't hate Braun Strowman nearly as much as other people do. I'm not a huge fan, but I gotta say, I did feel a sense of pop. I was like, oh, because I wasn't expecting him back, because I don't read dirt sheets, I don't care about rumours and social media bollocks. That's why we don't live tweet as much as we should. But Braun coming out gave me a bit of a fizz, bit of a buzz. I was like, yeah, fucking big meaty hoss coming down to save the day and wreck shop, and he beats the shit out of Sami Zayn, and he destroys everything in sight. I loved it. Loved it. Easy way. And you know what? So simplistic. Nothing too over the top. No overly convoluted bullshit. If you're going to stop the match and restart it, so to speak, like they did on Raw with so much, do it so it makes sense. This was perfect. It was like, fuck it. You guys want to join in? Right, you can join in and we'll make a proper match of it. Brilliant. Not, oh, someone got counted out. Let's restart. Oh, someone fell over. Let's restart. No. Raw versus SmackDown, such a big difference. And it's a shame because I actually think both sides have excellent world-class talent. You saw some of Raw's best talent on this show as well. SmackDown, though, really a cut above. And for me, despite my humongous passion for WWE NXT, this was by far and away for me the most exciting thing I saw from WWE this week. Love this. Excellent stuff. Haven't watched NXT UK yet. I have been assured that that's quite worth the watch as well. But I'm really digging WWE right now. I am. People can hate on it and shit on it, but it's Royal Rumble weekend. How can you not be excited? Just as a side note, we will be covering everything from the Royal Rumble, of course. There'll be a review. There'll be an Xbox Live party open. We may even have a Zoom party open. If you're feeling a bit unwell, maybe you're feeling alone, maybe you're struggling with a lockdown, mental health and stuff like that, please get in contact at WrestlePlug. We can help you guys out. We can keep you company. Join us, even if you just want to live tweet along with us. I'll make sure that there are so many people available to talk. Ultimately, we want you guys to have fun and enjoy it. Take yourself away from a difficult time for a few hours and enjoy the Royal Rumble, because let's be honest, we all know it can be an enjoyable pay-per-view no matter how much WWE has tried to spoil it. That's all from me. Hopefully you enjoyed SmackDown as much as I did. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of SmackDown, what you think about the Rumble as well. And don't forget to check out that predictions video and leave your predictions below. We're getting very close, by the way, to 200 subscribers. And when we do, boom, it's t-shirt and art time. We've got quite a bit of wrestling stuff to give away, actually. I've got loads of stuff here that just, frankly, needs a good home. And I am happy to send it to you completely free of charge. But all we need to do is get to 200 subscribers to start giving away stuff. And every 100 subscribers after that, we will start giving something away. That is a promise from me. And if anyone knows Aaron Nix, they'll know that I don't break my promises. From myself, Aaron Nix, thank you very much for watching. And I will catch you very, very shortly for a lot more content from the WrestlePlug. Enjoy Royal Rumble weekend, gang. And please look after yourselves wherever you are in the world.